Hey, my name is Nat, and I'm the lead farmer here at Neighborhood Foods Farm in West Philadelphia. Our mission here is to build a neighborhood-rooted food and land system through community leadership development and land-based strategies in West Philadelphia. Unfortunately, you are not able to come to the farm yet, but I just wanted to emphasize that this farm is not only for the community, but it's also here for you all to learn and enjoy and be a part of. And so hopefully one day we can actually get you here. But in the meantime, we will show you around virtually. The first thing I wanted to show you through was actually my outfit, which is an important part of farming. So first, we've got shoes, hard shoes. Any shoes that you have that are like the most durable is really important to wear, because we carry heavy things and things drop, and it's just a lot safer to have your feet covered, your toes covered. I've got just any old clothing that I'm okay with getting wet or dirty, or anything that you may come across in the farm, because it gets very dirty here. And then I've got my face mask, which is a new thing but definitely very essential, and I'm not wearing it for this video, but I do always wear it other than right now. And then the last thing I've got is this hat, which is really great for not only keeping the sun out, but also making sure that I don't get too sunburnt, and because the sun's really great, but it's also pretty vicious on your skin. And a watch, which I enjoy because time flies here at the farm, and it's nice to make sure that you're on schedule and things like that. So yes, come on in. This is a huge pile of wood chips that we're working to make smaller by putting in between the aisles to suppress weeds. This is our truck, which we use for our food distribution and any other errands we may need to run. And then the first place that you're going to run across when you enter the farm is our high tunnel. This is high tunnel 3, because we have 3 high tunnels here. This is our largest high tunnel, and typically we'll be growing a lot of vegetables inside of it, but since the soil isn't at its greatest quality, we decided this season that we would actually give it a break and put a lot of compost, as you can see, a thick layer, which will add a lot of good nutrients to it, and then we'll be able to grow out of it next season when all the nutrients are restored back into the soil, and it's good to go. So then we continue on, and this is the farm. Everything you see is as big as it gets. It's about 3/4 of an acre. It's not huge, but it's actually more than enough space for us to work with. So this first row here has a lot of perennial plants. These huge shrub-looking things, those are elderberry bushes, and the flowers have just come, but the berries will be coming in August, so we gotta hold off for that. And we also have a bunch of mint and some other succulents that are more ornamental. And then over here, we get to our tool shed, which has a crazy amount of useful tools that we use all the time, but I pulled out 3 essential ones that I use almost every day. This is a broad fork, and I can explain more of it later, but it helps us prep the beds before we put the vegetables in it. It loosens up the soil for us in a not super invasive way. And then this is called a hard rake. It's kind of self-explanatory, but it's really useful for pulling a lot of debris and old plants and stuff from wherever you're working. And then this is a stirrup hoe. It's my most favorite tool in the world, and it's what I use for weeding, and it's super easy and effective. And yeah, like I said, lots of other great tools, but I won't go into it right now. And then if you look this way, where we were looking just a moment ago, this is mod 3, and we split up each part of the farm by mods, and the mod closest to the entrance is 3, then we go to 2, and then 1. And so I can show you mod 1 if you follow me this way. We'll turn the corner. And just quickly, if you look down right here, this is our hose that attaches to all the irrigation that we use throughout the farm that waters our plants and keeps them nice and hydrated. And so this is a nice aisle that gives you access to Mod 3, and the wood chips indicate the walk spaces that we use to access the vegetables that we're growing. Each row also has a name, and so the row closest to us right now is the larger number, and then it starts over there, so row 1 is at the far end, and I think this is row 15 right here. I won't go into all the vegetables because I know that we're going to be doing that at a later time, but just a quick overview. We've got sunflowers are these tall things right here, lots of beets, zucchini, peppers, kale, tomatoes. We just pulled out a few different things, a lot of spinach because spinach are more cold season crops and we're moving into the hot season. So those were ready to go, and we replaced them with peppers and zucchini and cucumbers. But you can see here is a big field of tomatoes that are all staked up, and what we're doing right here is the Florida weave, something I also will go into more at another time. And then we've got a bunch of marigolds planted sporadically which help with pest management. And if you ever see these little frilly green plants with the little white petals, those are actually not weeds, they're chamomile, and we harvest those for tea. So then you get to the end of Mod 3, which we were just looking through, and that structure right there is one of our compost bins, and that's where we put all of the waste that we have that isn't weedy, and so it'll turn into compost eventually, and we can use it here at the farm. And one other thing I'd just like to quickly mention is that all of these rows have different vegetables planted together, and that's something called companion planting, and something we utilize here and is very beneficial for a lot of different reasons that I'll also go into at another time. So then if we turn this way, we are in Mod 2, where we have some of the same stuff I mentioned before, but we've also got a lot of cabbage, Swiss chard. We just pulled out some pak choi, which is also a cold season crop, so it's time to move on to something new. Beets, more peppers, mustard greens, collards. We just trellised right here to keep the cucumbers, which are in the middle, still very small at this point, growing upwards rather than falling flat on the ground. And also right here, a cool thing that I really think is awesome is our garlic plants, which will be ready at the end of this month ideally, and you can't see the garlic, but they're growing underneath the ground, and we started that many months ago, and it grows over the winter, which is super cool. And then one other thing to point out in Mod 2 is our asparagus row, which is a row exclusively for asparagus, and it's actually a perennial, which means that it comes back every year, and asparagus can grow for up to 30 years if you take care of it. And right now its season's over, so we can't harvest from it anymore, but we're letting it continue to grow to establish its root system and come back next year even stronger. Straight ahead, we've got our walk-in fridge, which is really great for a lot of reasons, but we mainly use it to keep our harvest food after we package it and clean it, and then it stays cold until we end up distributing it to the neighborhood. And right now we've got a lot of coolers full of extra stuff. We distributed food yesterday, so it all went out. And then this way is our pavilion, where we wash a lot of our vegetables, store our bags, and also socialize, as you can see over here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Clymer. I'm the farming apprentice. So far it's been great working out in the fields and getting back in touch with the soil and plants and learning how things grow, and also being able to eat what we yield during the harvest. This is something that I'm looking forward to continuing doing and taking with me as I continue to live, because I think it's better to have food from the soil than from a shelf.
Hey there, my name's Allie Amico, and I'm the intern farmer here at Neighborhood Foods Farm. And One of the best things about being out here on the farm isn't just the wonderful sun and being with all these lovely plants, but it's really about being with the people and connecting back with our community. So as you have seen in probably some of the other shots here, we have neighbors all around here, and they frequently come to visit us, see how the farm's doing, and pick up produce that we're giving to them. So we're very fortunate and just very glad to have wonderful, wonderful community connections with people that love us just as much as we love them.
Right in front of Mod 2, which where we were just looking, are a bunch of pallets, and this is where we keep all of our starts, which are the little baby plants that we then transplant into the soil. You can see some okra right now, lettuce, tomatoes, so that means that all those things need to go into the ground. Next stop is our apothecary storage space, which is where when we dry herbs, we then jar them and then we leave them in there where it's a very cool, dark place that they can last very long and thrive in. And then we'll continue to the side of the apothecary where we just started a little pollinator wall, and this is where bugs ideally will be attracted to the little crevices that we made, and they'll make it their home, and then we'll benefit from all of the amazing things that pollinator insects do for us at the farm. And then we'll turn the corner, and we're officially at Mod 1, which is the first mod and the farthest from the entrance. We've got 3 beds here outside, which is a lot of the same: lettuce, bunching onions, collards, some eggplant in the middle that's still very small. And then we come immediately after that to High Tunnel 2, which is where we dry herbs, start seeds, and store a bunch of different tools and equipment that we need. And then we'll continue on to High Tunnel 1, which is where we're growing all of our high tunnel crops this season, because like I said, that high tunnel is for storage, and that high tunnel will give it a little break for the season. And right now we've got tomatoes, basil at the bottom, carrots, and cucumbers, and so we're trellising, which I'll explain more at another time, the cucumbers and the tomatoes, and that's what these strings act as to keep the support up for the tomatoes and the cucumbers, which are plants that just grow very vertically and will flop unless you keep them upright. And yeah, everything's looking pretty good in here so far. And then last but not least, we've got one last row, a little seating area for lunch, and then a separate huge compost pile that is not super active, but a place that we put a bunch of our weeds and big plants that are no longer useful. And then that's the whole farm. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to meet you all.